Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to my games room. Today we're taking a look at a game which was set in the same universe as the game The Resistance, which I've done previous on this channel, and that is Coup by Indie Boards and Cards. So in looking at the report card for Coup, I'm going to give the number of players a B+. That's because it can play up to 6 players. It plays from 2 to 6. It's not really a game I'd recommend with 2. It's the kind of game that you really want to try and get that upper limit as much as you can. If you have 6 people willing to play, great. 3 or 4, not so bad. 5 is okay. 5 is good, but 6 is really where it's at. You really want to have the large groups for this one. That's where it really sort of hits the sweet spot. So with 6 players, I give it the B+. For learning, I'm going to give the game a C+. It's For learning, I'm going to give the game a C. It really has nothing to in the ways of learning except maybe some counting of the money. There's a little bit of reading involved. There's the probabilities which start to come out with determining who is what. For learning, I'm going to give the game a C+. It's not heavily invested in learning. It's not a lot of curricular things that you're learning in there, but there's a lot of little things going on. For example, you have to read the cards to understand what the powers are and how they work and things like that. You have to be counting your money as you're gathering money, but I mean, I think it's only up to 8, so it's really nothing like too difficult. And then the probability is really where it's coming in is the style of learning here, because you're trying to determine who is what, and people are bluffing as to what kind of role that they might have, and you have to determine the probability in your mind as to whether it's worth it for you to call their bluff or to allow them to go ahead with whatever they say that they can do. I'll explain more about that when we take it to the table. But the learning, like I said, is the probability is the biggest part of it. Aside from that, it's got some other little things in there, but nothing really too big. So give it the C+. For fun, I'm going to give the game an A. I think this game is a lot of fun. It's something that I've certainly played many times, and I will play many times more. It's part of what makes it so fun is that it's so fast. It's one of those games where you can be eliminated, and normally I really don't like those elimination games, but if I say if you're going to do elimination, make sure that you make it a quick game. And that's what this is. This is a quick game. It's 15 minutes tops, and you kind of fly through it, and it's just fun, fast, frenetic, more alliteration, please. Every time I played it, we have a great time with it, and usually it's the kind of game that you play more than once when you play it. You play it like 3, 4, 5 times in a row, not just the one time. But again, depending on whatever time you have, which I'm coming to next. For time, I'm going to give the game an A. It's, like I said, the game's only 15 minutes. There's some minimal setup involved, minimal cleanup just with the tokens and things you have to put out, the cards and such. Overall, it's very easy, very quick to play. Faster is the kind of game, depending on the time that you have. It's great to play multiple times in a row. So for cost, I'm going to give the game an A. The game plays up to 6 players, and it's around $20, so it's a very cheap game, very affordable to pick up. And so if you're buying something for the class, I wouldn't necessarily buy like a class set of this to have like all your students playing at one time. It's the kind of thing that you have in your game closet or something for students maybe to play on an indoor e-break or something like that, or you can be I wouldn't be doing it during class if they have time, but if you're playing something at home too, this is a great one to bring out with people of all ages. It's simple enough that even young kids can get it, so I think it's really well worth the cost. All right, let's take it to the table and I'll show you how it's played. So I'm playing the game of Coup. First off, you want to maybe make sure that the players have access to these cards here, which is going to show the actions that they can do in their turn. Every turn they're going to take one of these actions, and then depending on what cards they have, they can do other actions or what card they claim to have, and I'll explain what that means in just a moment. So there's all these cards here, and what there's 5 different roles. You have the Contessa, you have the Captain, you have the Assassin, you have the Duke, and you have the Ambassador. So those are the 5 different roles, and there's 3 of each card within the deck. So then what's going to happen is you're going to deal out 2 cards to each person that is playing. So if we're playing say a 3-player game here, so I'm looking at the 2 cards that I have, and I just happen to have 2 of the Duke. So what happens now is, say I'm the first player, I'm going to take an action. So there's different actions that you can do. So basic action you can do that nobody can stop you is to take 1 coin. So I can just take 1 coin and nobody can stop me from doing that. If I want to go for foreign aid, I can take 2 coins. Taking 2 coins means then that I'm getting more coins, but the foreign aid action is something that can, it says here, the Duke, so the counter action is so the Duke can block it. So somebody else can say, I've got the Duke. And if they have the Duke, then they can block my foreign aid. So the game's going to go around that order. But seeing as that I have 2 Dukes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take taxes. I'm going to take the action of taxes, and I'm going to take 3 coins. So 3 coins come over to me, and I'll take the 3 coins and say I'm taking 3 coins because I'm taking taxes because I have a Duke. Now, again, this game is all about bluffing, so I don't have to necessarily be truthful about what I have. So the other players can challenge me. So say the player on my left here, they challenge me and say, I don't think you have a Duke. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over my cards, pretend that I'm thinking about them, okay, and I'll show them 1 Duke. So my other card goes face down, and now the Duke will go back into the pile, shuffle up. Okay, it doesn't really matter. I take a card. So now I have an assassin, but they don't know that. So now it goes to now because that player was wrong, they accused me. They accused me of not having a Duke, and I did have a Duke. So now what happens? They have to reveal one of their cards. So they're going to reveal a Contessa here. So now it goes to this player's turn, and they are going to say that they are going to take 3 because their other card is the Duke. Now again, I knew that I had 2 Dukes, and I know that 1 Duke was still in the deck. Now there's 2 Dukes in here because one of my Dukes is gone, but that still doesn't, they haven't picked up a card since then, so the chance of them having a Duke are very low. So I'm going to maybe say, you know what, I don't believe you, because I have that information. So they flip over the other card, and they had 2 Contessas. So I was right, so they now reveal that card. They are now out of the game, and that money goes back. So now it's between me and the other player. They say that they are just going to take 3 because they have a Duke, and I'll say, okay, I'm not going to push my luck on that one. So then I will say now, so I can, because I have an assassin, I can assassin. You know what? Yeah. So if you're going to assassinate, you can assassinate somebody, but you have to pay 3 coins to do so. And then ambassadors can exchange. So they can exchange their card with the one from the deck. Captain can steal money. So they can actually maybe say, you know what? They can say, I have a captain and I'm going to steal your money. They take 2 coins from me. Now the captain can steal money. We can also block people from stealing. So every player card, every card has an ability. The Contessa will block an assassin. The captain steals money, but also blocks the stealing of money. And the ambassador will exchange cards, but the ambassador can also block stealing from if people are taking money with the captain as well. So there's different roles and things that people have. They have those, so you have to know their ability and you have to know their counter ability. So what can they do to stop people from doing things? So what you're going to do is you're going to play through the rounds until until one person is left with at least one of their cards down. So if so say, for example, what can get really dangerous is if you say something like, I'm going to assassinate you. And so say I had my 3 money, and I pay my 3 money, and I say I'm assassinating you. Now they can say, I don't think you have an assassin. And I can show that I do have an assassin. So because they were wrong in saying that I didn't have an assassin, they have to lose 1 card. And then say that now, because I did the assassin on them, they lose their other card as well. So it's a really dangerous game to play when it comes to the assassins, because if you are wrong about an assassin, then you stand to lose both your cards in one go. So that would be it for the game then. I would be left with 1 card, well, I guess 2 cards, and so I've won. And so that's how the game is played. So you keep playing until all but one of the players are eliminated by following the rules of what can and cannot happen. What can happen, for an action, if you allow somebody to gather up 7 coins, then they can do a coup, and the coup will automatically make somebody flip over a card. They can do nothing to stop that. So that's one reason you want to be building up your coins too, not only to pay for assassins, but to pay for that coup. And that's how you play Coup. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Coup, or if you have any other suggestions for games you might like to see on the channel, please leave me a message in the comment section below. If you have any other ideas for topics you might like to discuss, or any ideas for things going on that, in terms of conferences and things like that, that you might like me to speak at, then please leave me a message in the comment section below. Please don't forget also that I'm raising money for the Extra Life campaign, taking this well, not this upcoming Saturday, but a Saturday upcoming soon, Saturday, November 2nd till Sunday, November 3rd. I'll be doing a 24-hour board gaming marathon, and any donations are greatly welcome. I'll leave a link in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Craig Thompson Wood, the board game teacher, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with